Also, let me know about game sounds, because I'm very aware that game sounds might be a little bit too high. So please let me know if they're too high, too low, or whatever. To the top right hand side, our blue Terran player is aLive. And to the bottom left hand side, our red Terran player is MMA. Going to Switzerland? No, I went to Switzerland. I went to Switzerland at the start of the month with my mum for her birthday. So, yeah. It's been a busy month. I've been traveling all over the place. This month alone, I've now been to, what, Switzerland, Vancouver, and New York. It's pretty sick. The game sounds are a bit loud. That's good, because it's super easy to fix that now rather than later. I'm just going to turn the... Let's try that. That actually still sounds kind of loud. Hopefully it's okay. I was playing all over the place with kind of getting these settings right. The other thing as well is, like, because it's like a standing microphone, I have to try and sit in the right place, you know? Sit in a place where it's like I'm like close enough to my mic without being, you know, without moving away and too towards it. So I'm gonna hope to try and just keep myself sat here and see what happens. Looks like Montian, is this live? Yeah, well, I'm live. The games are replays. They were played on Thursday before BTSL. But I am indeed live. I really did want to cast these live, but so here's the story. I flew into Canada, flew into Vancouver, and honestly, if I'd just gone and kind of sat in my Airbnb and went to sleep, I would have woken up to cast these at like 4 AM. But I figured I'd go and see Rifkin, we'd walk around a bit, we'd chill out, Darius would arrive, and by the time we did all of that, it was like 1 AM. So I just went to sleep because this was like 4 AM in Canada time or Vancouver time. And so I was like, well, you know, 4 AM, do I really want to, like, wake up at 4 AM and, like, you know, have an absolute nightmare? Like, if there's any sort of audio or tech issues at all, I am just going to be so upset. And I'm just not going to have the capacity to kind of do it. So I decided to skip it and to kind of just take the replays for a later time, which is cool because it means we can cast this here today, give the internet here a test, and just see if everything in general works. Because it's replays, it's super easy as well, because if something does start to go wrong, I can stop between games, or even in a game, to try and get it fixed up. And this is Lost and Found, one of the new maps, of course. The new map has been out a little while, but honestly, I have not had a chance to cast it yet, because I mean, that's actually a bit of a lie, but I've not had a chance to cast it since it went live on the ladder pool, because I've been at BTSL, we've used old maps. There's just not really, you know, I haven't been home really since the new maps came out. Everything I casted was on old maps, so this is the first time I'm really casting these, but that is a little bit of a lie because I did cast these in the Team of the Map contest tournament, so I have seen Lost and Found before, but not the newest ladder kind of based version, so we'll see what's gonna happen here. As you do see this Reaper coming across down towards the bottom left hand side, second Reaper too. Obviously MMA lost a Reaper there initially because he chased across the map and ended up running in towards a Hellion. And as you are just going to be seeing a couple of Reapers, the Hellion going to be pushing in towards the natural expansion, and a couple of Hellions of MMA coming out, and they are going to poke away at that Reaper. So Reaper takes a little bit of damage here, a couple of Cyclones currently coming through for MMA as well. And yeah, MMA just looking in towards a very standard kind of TvT setup, right, with the Cyclone production coming up. Both players have expanded here as well. MMA's was a little bit faster, but on the other side of things, it's aLive who I think is a bit more interesting. He's bypassing all sorts of Cyclone production just to go directly in towards what seems to be probably a Cloak Banshee. Starport swaps to that tech lab, the factory moves to its own tech lab as well. So we're going to be seeing the tech lab dropping down on that factory, and again it should be a Cloak Banshee coming up. There's a couple of Reapers in the main base trying to see what they can do. Looks as though a Reaper at the front was trying to poke forwards as well. MMA just didn't lose anything, right? That was just a couple of Reapers in the Hellion, yeah, so not really much lost here at all for now. And again, as I was saying, Banshee on the way up from aLive. MMA will push across the map with a couple of Cyclones. I do feel this is a bit of a scary time for aLive. I mean, he's got one Cyclone, 2 Marines. I mean, just straight up, an extra Cyclone puts such a huge amount of pressure on you in terms of what you can do here. So MMA is going to have a good opportunity to push forwards, but there is that bunker. aLive is just going to get a Cyclone behind it, and honestly the bunker is good enough to hold on for now. So the bunker keeps aLive safe, a necessity at this point of the game if he wants to be able to stay alive. And yeah, I mean, another couple of Cyclones on the way up, missile turrets coming through as well. And there's MMA, look at this, the bravery of him to throw a third CC down just on the left hand side of the map. He's putting that down right away here, so third command center coming on down as well. And again, all these kind of Hellion Cyclones just returning back home. MMA not feeling as though you can do much right now, and also a decent time to kind of come back and to head back towards the bottom left hand side with the, you know, with this Banshee coming in, because it's time, you know, if you can defend this Banshee nicely, it kind of just wastes that investment of the cloak, etc. from aLive as well. I'm pretty sure that's a Montian donation that just came in for the $20. I can't have my dashboard open because I only have one monitor, guys, so I can't read donations and so on during games. I just saw it pop up on my PayPal notification on my phone, actually. But I'll get to your message after this game. Thank you so much for the donation. As the Cyclones, they lock on there for a moment. They actually get the Banshee to half health. As it moved out of missile turret range, he did lose vision. Getting to half health is nice, and this Banshee is still doing a decent job. 2 kills, one of them delaying the 3rd CC. You see, that goes quite a long way. This Ilokon will get the kill. And there should be a second Banshee somewhere on the map. There it is, out in the center here. Going to be coming around and having a little bit of a look to see what it can get up to. A couple of armories coming down in the back of this main base as well. The factory just going to be thrown down. Siege tank on the way out. Actually cancels the factory to build another factory. Was that not a factory? did I miss something here? Was that not a factory? Did I just get memed? Did I just meme myself? I don't even know. I do not even know. I can't tell you what that is. Combat Shield coming up though. Stimpack as well for aLive. And we are going to be seeing this one Hellion from MMA is indeed heading back home right now. So this Banshee here is going to get taken down. And we are going to be seeing, of course, therefore, you know, we saw the factories being added on by MMA. It's going to be factories against barracks, which means mech versus bio. Well, the way I like to say it, bio versus mech, it just rolls off the tongue a little bit more nicely. So aLive playing the bio style, obviously very reliant on that Stimpack and combat shields finishing. I am a little bit worried about his lack of upgrades though. I mean, where is it infantry upgrades, right? Without 1-1, how is he ever going to be playing against like a 1-1 mech army? Because his army is already inefficient in comparison to MMA's, with an upgrade lead on the mech units as well. Kind of crazy. In fact, aLive has a lot to do in this game because that 3rd CC being up from MMA already as well. Everything is just an elite here from MMA if he can hold off this attack. So aLive has to get something done because, again, as the bio player, you have to do something. If you don't do something here, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. So let's see what aLive can get done. He does have the 3 tanks, which can create quite a good position. I mean, there's only 1 tank here from MMA, so while it will get a tank kill, it's only 1 tank kill, and we do see these Marines able to push themselves into this location here, where this orbital command is going to get lifted and pushed away. So aLive pushes into the 3rd base. That goes pretty well for him. These couple of refineries are on their way down as well. And MMA, well, definitely not a pretty position for himself. He does have this tank moving forwards here, is going to be able to come on in and try and well, just again push those Marines back, stop them from coming further forwards, dropping the main base as well. So Marine Marauder here is going to get a reactor on the factory, and MMA is scrambling all over the place, not mining from the 3rd, currently not mining from the main base. He's starting to get a better number of units up to start really defending this at least, which is something, but god, does he need something now. aLive has done everything he needed to here. He delayed the 3rd base a bit. Yes, okay, the upgrade advantage is going to still be in MMA's favor, and that might be one thing that keeps him in the game, but definitely doesn't lose aLive the game right now. So, especially with this sort of damage done, that's a little bit more forgivable, especially if he kills the 3rd base. That's going to be absolutely insane. The 3rd base just going to go down in the end. I say just, but honestly, I mean, these Marines have an endless amount of time to continue fighting this, and it does fall. So, command center going down. We're going to see this Viking and another couple of Hellbats coming forward. Going to try and clean up this kind of drop in the natural expansion at this point. MMA still has 52 SCVs. So what does he need to do here? Well, he needs to obviously get mining again in the main base, which he's already actually set up. Get his reactors and tech labs going again. He just needs to stabilize. So build a 3rd CC not on location. Don't spread yourself out right now. You do not want to kind of have to defend a 3rd base if you don't have to. Building this here and having a 10-15 second float over to this position, much better. Because again, if he spreads himself out too much, sorry, apparently my Skype just rings on this laptop. If he spreads himself out too much, he really will put himself into the, sorry, I appreciate that was probably very loud, guys, I'm so sorry. If he puts himself a little bit kind of too far forwards, then aLive is just going to pick him apart, so let's see what aLive does. I think aLive's kind of right to kind of sit back as well, though. If Hellions going to dive his mineral line, though, that's actually kind of painful, because aLive doesn't have a response to these Hellions immediately, and there's SCVs line up in the end. A few SCVs going down, not the end of the world number of SCVs, but still a decent few. And we are going to be seeing the Hellions just backing away down for the south. Oh my god, what is my Skype doing? My Skype's not even open. Oh, sorry guys, this is so stupid. There you go, Skype should be fixed. Apologies for that. Hell yeah, Medevac's coming back into the main base though, dropping straight in here. There's Vikings, there's tanks, there's Hellbats. Looks like there's a decent setup. Is it enough? We'll see these Vikings got rid of a couple of Medevacs so far. Factories have to lift up now as aLive keeps up the pressure. And MMA as well. Even though he was still only defending 2 bases, he still hasn't quite had enough to defend here properly. Just lifting the factories delay so much more of his production. We are going to be seeing these bio units continue to just come on forwards, and well, SCVs are actually just going down now as well. 20 worth the lead now from aLive if he gets cleaned up here. And well, okay, yes, as MMA, you did clean everything up, and maybe that's the scary part of this. You know, MMA, well, he has 6 tanks, he has a couple of Hellbats, has some Vikings. He still has an army, even if he's playing with the eco disadvantage. As a mech player, I really do feel that having just the army, if you have the army, anything is really possible still. Everything is still possible still. I see these tanks is going to be cleaning up here, so finally MMA takes his 3rd base back. Let's see what he can do then. Back onto a 3rd base. He does have 2-2. I've got to give it to MMA. Those upgrades are going to be absolutely fantastic when it comes to dealing with his opponent here in the next few minutes. 4th command center from aLive is on the way down as well. A little bit of bio still just gathering up at the front. +1 weapons on the way from this engineering bay, the armory. Coming up with the +1 ship weapons as well. I'm just going to be seeing a few liberators currently on the way out. So a few liberators currently coming on through. And we do just have the extra starport coming down from aLive as well. I'll say thank you, by the way. I saw a sub come through and I meant to get to it. As this game calms down a moment, I actually can see subs at least on my phone, so that's something. Boa Darren coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much, mate, for the subscription. Boa Darren. I feel as though it's sort of like a name that's meant to have a specific way to say the OE, and I'm just not quite there. Because, you know, English people can't really pronounce anything apart from their own stupid accents, which there's millions of, so what can I say? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub, though. Appreciate it, mate. As aLive comes through the center of the map, I mean, look at his army. It's massive. I think that's the main thing. He also has air control, right? He has, what, 7 Vikings against 8, and the 3 Liberators. Okay, so it's holdable for MMA. That's so important because these Liberators, if they get sieged up on top of tanks, obviously that's going to be a disaster. And there we go, the Vikings are stacking up. Ooh, one of MMA's Vikings trails behind for a moment. If I can count now at 10 for MMA, so maybe he does have enough to turn that away. Upgrades not currently in play for the ship weapons, but there is 2 vehicle plating upgrades for MMA as well, which probably will help him hold the skies. Alright, well, just looking to see what comes up next here. As we do see a couple of Hellions running by once again. MMA is still staying in this game, and I think that's the issue, right? For bio players in general, is that even if a Terran player is taking a lot of damage, a mech player is taking a lot of damage, with the kind of defensive setup, you can still take 3 bases, you can still hold in 4 bases, and they're very difficult to break, even if in a disadvantage. And in fairness, you look at resources lost, it's kind of even. You know, it might not feel like that, but it is kind of even. And so MMA, he's been mining a little bit less. So yes, aLive is definitely ahead, but you do need to be ahead to engage into a defensive mech player. And here on Lost and Found, I mean, this is one of the new maps, we didn't talk much about it. It's a very defensive map, choked up into the 3rd base, 1 entrance, 4th base, only 1 entrance really, choked up as well. I mean, you could argue this entrance here between them, but if you defend the 3rd and defend the 4th, you kind of naturally defend this middle position too, so actually the 4 bases come very easily, and so it's going to be really down to aLive to come on in here and to just out-expand MMA, to be able to have that economy, to keep on pushing out even more air units, to push out even more Liberators, and all of the rest of those. A couple of these Hellbats going to be running on forwards. Just trying to get a few SCVs here. Again, MMA keeping up this constant harassment. Not only does it potentially kill SCVs, it just keeps aLive busy. You know, it keeps aLive back at home. It keeps aLive in this position where he has to think about it. He has to deal with that possibility and all the rest of it. So, we're just going to be seeing the Vikings and the Liberators just going to be coming through the center now. A few 4s, Widowmines, tanks, and Hellbats all set up here from MMA. Off over to the right hand side, and we do have these Liberators currently pushing forwards as well to see if aLive can get something done. Again, it's the Liberators that are one of the more important things in this composition now for aLive. Fighting counts are pretty even. The 4s here as well from MMA to try and help out. That 4, no way. That was not actually in a Liberator ring at all. So I'm not sure what to really tell you about that one. Vikings going to come forwards and slide down one of the Liberators here. At least the rest of the Vikings going to come to the party. Ravens are going to be a scary feature here as well for our bio player aLive. He's going to get 1 anti-armor missile off. The split is not quite there, and so it is going to be damaging on those Vikings. And that +2 vehicle plate and upgrade advantage that MMA has in the skies, well, that's kind of nullified by the anti-armor missile. There's +2 ship weapons about to finish for aLive. He knows, and he's known for a while, that he's going to be switching into this kind of sky-focused play. So he's been setting up with those upgrades. However, that anti-armor missile is gone now, and well, there it is once again coming back. Bio starts to stem forward. A couple of tanks will go down forwards as well, actually. And we do see, well, MMA is still holding the line here though, but now the Liberators push further forwards, and this is where we maybe start seeing some of these units going down. Looks as though MMA will just commit into this. He's going to burrow Wither Mines beneath these Vikings. He's going to get some shots off, isn't he? No, all the Wither Mines seem to be dying before they can do anything. MMA is losing so much here. However, it looks as though he's going to win out in this, guys. The Liberators, though, and sieging, that could actually turn the tide of battle. I mean, Viking on Viking, this was definitely aLive, going for MMA, but with the Liberators too, aLive can push this away. In the end, it's MMA who kind of holds his position. aLive is kind of pushed back a little bit. He just wants to go repair his air units, it seems, and get ready to go once again. Remember, behind all of this, aLive has this top base now. He has this bottom right base, and so he's going to have a lot of extra mining available to him to keep up this pressure as the game goes on. And keeping up this pressure is one of the most important things he could use here in the near future. You see 6 Vikings currently on the way out, a few Marines as well. So you just get set up here as an orbital comes in on the top side, that just sits there. I mean, provided mules, honestly I would just take the gases, because the gas is one of the main things at this stage. Where you want to make sure you have enough of it, and it's going to be one of the things you can outplay MMA on. MMA doesn't really care about, if you have more minerals than me, sure, that's cool, but, my tanks generally deal with the Marines that you spend your minerals on at this stage. But it's the gas camp that's going to allow aLive to go up to more starport production, to kind of produce more Vikings, more Liberators, keep that air control, which can really go the distance here. There's aLive coming down towards the bottom right. I love that MMA has these Widow Mines. I thought it was a really cool way of kind of, doing something a little bit different as Hellion forces some SCVs off of the bottom right base, which is nice as well. Yeah, I did like the, honestly, I did like the Widow Mine introduction, but he just didn't get any of them to do anything. They all just died as they were trying to come forwards and burrow, so I'm not sure what you do about that. Maybe just get some Hellbats in front and burrow them behind the Hellbats, because, the way they were running forwards, they were just going down before they could do anything at all, so it's a bit of a tough situation. We do see these Liberators joining up with the Vikings and a couple of Ravens. I'm looking to see just what they can do perhaps in the near future, because they are going to be the floors are going to be seen well. Oh my god, the anti-armor missile already hits absolutely everything, and MMA is going to be pushed back into a more defensive position. However, the Widow Mines are going to go off in towards the Viking crowd, so that actually really helps MMA out. Now, oh, that's smart by aLive. He actually runs on top of MMA's army, so the Widow Mines end up doing friendly fire damage. He's going to try and repair this Planet Fortress, and for now the Planet Fortress will survive. MMA is the one with Vikings left over as well, so he still has the air control to potentially push back those Liberators. He will lose the 5th base to the south side though, and not being able to keep this 5th base alive is obviously going to be quite an issue, because he needs another base sometime soon. Force trying to do whatever they can. Those few Marines just next to the Liberators actually really keeping the Liberators safe, getting rid of a few more of those Vikings as well. As that Bio Terran player aLive gets up into +3 weapons, he's also got the +3 ship weapons. He's got +2 plating on the way for his ships as well, knowing that this air control is still, again, the most important thing for him, and really is what's slowly and surely winning this game. He's going to push back one more time. Scans coming down from both players. aLive is still just, he's kept MMA off of the 5 bases, right? And that's what he needed to do. He's got himself all these extra expansions to allow him to keep on rebuilding more easily than MMA. I love this, as Liberator finds himself a little bit of a position on the gas, and that just gets rid of a few more SCVs, shuts down some gas mining until that Viking comes into respawn. There's actually a Liberator now from MMA who has a couple of Ravens of his own, so he is going towards his own anti-air now. Well, obviously he's had his own anti-air all game, but he's getting towards the further stages of that, beyond just Vikings, a couple of Ravens. We've seen those anti-armor missiles from aLive and just what they can do. Just having, minus kind of free armor is actually a huge deal when it comes to a fight, as we are going to be seeing the siege tank there getting pushed down. And well, MMA's got another 5th base to take, so he will try and re-expand once more. aLive is just going to change the direction of attack. Everything from aLive for the last 10 minutes or so has been towards the 4th base, the 5th base, that sort of location, the south side of the map. We haven't really seen an attack on the 3rd base since, the first attack of the game from aLive, where he came across after the Banshees with the Marines and the tanks, and he actually got a kill there. So here we go, he's going to try and push on through, and honestly, not a lot in position. A couple of tanks is definitely kind of something you can run into here as the bio player, and he is going to force his third base to lift up there right away. Anti-armor missile goes down. Vikings are getting themselves a couple of medevacs down to the south side. A couple of rallying units here are, I don't even know what that Marauder was doing. It was doing a little bit of a dance, wasn't it? Having a little bit of a jive. I actually really don't know how to, what to say about that, as we do see those low rares and Vikings just gathering back up. Again, just being denied this third base. Gas is now no longer mined. I mean, you look at the natural, mined out. You look at the main base, mined out in gas. I mean, the minerals don't matter as much right now. MMA is so in need of these extra gases here on the fifth base, and he needs to keep on mining his third base as well, so this has been a very painful moment or two for him, as aLive has controlled this game since the first push, and since then, he's kept his control of this game. You know, the center tower up here is looking fantastic as well, and as the Vikings come on down to the south, it looks as though we're going to have a push forwards, which is going to go in towards the attacks. The missile turrets here too. When the mine goes off, which is painful back, the missile turrets get a lot done. They're killing a lot of these units very quickly, but well, actually, is there enough from aLive to justify this? MMA is suddenly pushing this back. I mean, I say aLive's been in control of this game, but this was one move which was definitely not justified. These missile turrets have done so much. This missile turret alone has 4 kills on it. What a turning point. Maybe for MMA, who, for the first time in a long time, kind of comes out of a fight with a win. Because I feel, what does actually aLive have at the moment? 2 Ravens, 1 Vikings. He doesn't have air control. He's back on a bio army. For everything that aLive built up and did in this game correct, that was one fight that maybe just undid a lot of his efforts here. Because that was not pretty. And that gives MMA, again, the chance to maybe get a bit of momentum back in this. Maybe now he holds on the next attack as well. Let's see, as aLive is going to send his army around the top side instead to try and see what he can do. So he is going to come around the top and just have a little bit of a look to see if he can push on in over to the left here. Again, more bio coming out from aLive, gathering up in towards the center of the map. 5 more Vikings on the way up. He's building 8 SCVs, really? Does he need SCVs? I don't think so. I mean, maybe he just feels though he could do with a few more to kind of mine from these bases, but I feel like there must be some somewhere that he's just not... Well, like, he actually just has good enough income. I mean, I guess 75 workers isn't a bad thing. But maybe he just feels the need to kind of move a little faster. Those Huns do get caught off. The SCV's going down there, so the ones he just lost kind of replaced by the ones we were just discussing whether we should build or not. And we are just going to be seeing again these Vikings, Ravens, all gathering up together, the bio 2 here up in the top side of the map. So everything just gathering up right now. Another Viking is on its way out as well. Ship weapons is on the way also here from MMA. So, I mean, it's so funny that MMA throughout this entire game has been playing mech and like, he still doesn't have the +1 ship weapon upgrade. It's kind of amusing. Anyways, let's see what happens here from aLive, who is maxed out again. In fairness, that last fight, yes, it wasn't pretty, no, it didn't look great, but honestly, it can still go. This is still okay for him, especially if you can deny this base. Now it is getting harder for MMA to defend these bases and get further and further out there. Let's see how this fight goes. Anti-armor missile to start off, and the Vikings of MMA already pushing back. The Bioforce moving through the Influence Matrix on a couple of attacks in the front line as well. Going to make it so that it's a lot easier for aLive to keep on pushing forwards here. The Widow Mines, you know, they connected once, but they didn't really do enough. I mean, again here, he goes off on like a single Marauder, but everyone goes down. I think this time MMA is truly broken. At least on this base, he's going to lose it. And, well, even beyond that, he has 28 army supply. 12 of that army supply is these 2 4s, which are not going to stand a fight, you know, stand a chance in this fight against the bio. Not at all. So those 4s go down. These turrets will drop in. That is actually GG right there. aLive takes game number 1 of this best of 3. Game 2 of aLive versus MMA, guys. We'll have a proper break after this, so if there is any kind of real comments about the kind of audio and stuff, I can definitely look at it, but I think in general most people are fairly positive or fairly like, it's okay, and that's for me good enough. Bottom right hand side, our red Terran player is aLive here in game number 2. And to the top left, our blue Terran player, MMA. And look at this, aLive is going to go and say, well, you know, 23 minutes in game number 1 is a little bit lengthy. Let's maybe try and speed this up a little bit for game number 2. First proxy barracks is already coming down towards MMA's side of the map, and the second one will be not far behind. So the 2-Rex proxy coming in from aLive here, and MMA, well, already at 17 supply, not SCV scouting, so his first sign of seeing this will be when those Reapers start to jump up in towards his main base. So MMA arguably in just a little bit of trouble here to get things going. As we do just have a few SCVs just popping on out, and this barracks currently just building on up as well on the ramp. So barracks building up on the ramp here, and we are going to be having, well, just to wait for these first couple of Reapers to start popping out here, of course, and getting ready to see how that's going to be looking. So, aLive starting up his Reaper production. Obviously, MMA opens with a Reaper 2. The big thing for MMA is no second gas, and that means he's going to be expanding, and that's obviously not the better way of going around things for this sort of, this sort of build order, is it? It's not good to go for an expansion when your opponent's 2-rack proxying you. If he had a second gas, it would have been a lot better of a build for him. With this build, your factory is delayed compared to that double gas. It's not delayed, it's just later, right? So obviously that becomes a bit more of an issue, and, well, aLive, because there's been no SCV scout, he's even just kind of keeping his Reapers kind of stacking up, so when he does attack in, I actually think this might just be GG for MMA. His Reaper goes across the map, he's building a reactor and a factory. Even if his Reaper stays at home, when 2 or 3 Reapers arrive at the same time from aLive, he's going to massively outnumber what MMA has, and if he just runs in, kills the first Reaper and goes from there, then man, this is going to be really painful. We're going to see that SCV does get taken down, pops up to the high ground, and we are going to be seeing, well, 2 SCVs killed here already. I mean, nice grenade, and now all he has to do is really kill this Reaper, because again, the factory is still building, the reactor is building on the barracks. There is nothing to defend this. I mean, a Hellion starts up, but MMA just knows by the time another Reaper comes in, even the Hellion coming out, it's just going to die so quickly. GG. MMA, that was like the build order. I mean, it was just a build order win.